Meanwhile, defense attorneys for Sean Diddy Combs are considering requesting a 2-week delay in his sex trafficking and racketeering trial.
The trial of Sean Diddy Combs was originally scheduled to begin on May 5, 2025. But everything changed when prosecutors brought forward new allegations, including additional charges of sex trafficking.
Indictment yesterday. Now, Combs' attorneys are raising issues with getting access to evidence from the government, accusing prosecutors of
to delay the trial by at least 2 months, saying they need more time to prepare a proper defense. On April 14th, Diddy stood in front of a judge and pleaded not guilty to the latest charges. But this isn't the first time he's been in court for something serious. His attorneys, Marc Agnifilo and Teny Geragos, say the government hasn't handed over all the necessary evidence, which makes it almost impossible to defend their client properly. They argue that with the new charges, more discovery is required, and they simply need more time. However, the prosecutors aren't buying it. They believe the delay tactic is a strategic move designed to slow things down, avoid the trial, and shift public attention elsewhere. Judge Arun Subramanian isn't playing along either. He told the courtroom that this trial is a...
This comes after the hip-hop mogul pled not guilty to additional charges filed against him in another superseding
and set another hearing for April 18th to decide what happens next. But while that courtroom drama unfolds, Diddy's legal team is going through changes behind the scenes. One of his key attorneys, Anthony Rico, withdrew from the case earlier this year. Now, a new name is stepping up, Brian Steele, the same lawyer currently defending rapper Young Thug in the YSL Rico case. Steele's reputation for tough defense and courtroom intensity could bring a new level of firepower to Diddy's case, especially with so many serious accusations on the table. And let's talk about those accusations. Diddy is facing a mountain of them. The criminal charges include racketeering, sex trafficking by force, fraud, or coercion, transporting individuals for illegal sexual activity, and obstruction of justice. Federal prosecutors are painting a picture of a powerful man who uses money and status not just to manipulate, but to hurt, control, and silence others. They say Diddy uses fame to recruit women, promise them opportunities in music or entertainment, and then force them into exploitative situations. They accuse him of bribing security guards to destroy surveillance footage, threatening victims, and uses his network of influential allies to intimidate witnesses. And it's not just the government coming after him. Diddy is also the target of more than 60 civil lawsuits and 4 separate federal lawsuits, with allegations stretching back over 2 decades. These lawsuits accuse him of sexual abuse, trafficking, coercion, and even drugging minors. Some lawsuits claim that he kept victims under control with surveillance, intimidation, and physical violence. One of the most high-profile cases came from singer Cassie Ventura, who filed a lawsuit in late 2023 accusing Diddy of rape and of abusing her for more than 10 years. She even claimed that he blew up her then-boyfriend kid, Cuddy's car, in an act of revenge. While that lawsuit was quickly settled and dismissed the very next day, it started a chain reaction. More and more victims came forward after seeing Cassie's bravery. Some say they were too afraid to speak out before, but now, with federal investigators involved, they're telling their stories. In May 2024, CNN released footage from 2016 showing Diddy physically assaulting Cassie in a hotel hallway. The footage was graphic and disturbing. Diddy responded by apologizing publicly, saying it was a mistake and not who he is. But his legal team accused the Department of Homeland Security of leaking the video and even claimed CNN had manipulated it. Cassie's lawyers pushed back hard, saying the footage was real and backed up what their client had said all along. Now, Diddy sits in a detention center in Brooklyn, denied bail multiple times. Prosecutors argue he's a flight risk, and the judge agreed. Diddy has been allowed a preloaded laptop to help him work on his defense from behind bars. But he's no longer surrounded by luxury. Gone are the days of champagne, penthouses, and jet setting, now replaced by prison uniforms and guarded cell blocks. Inside the Metropolitan Detention Center, Diddy is treated like any other inmate. Reports say he's kept under close observation, and he's been assigned a team of legal advisors who visit regularly. But even with all that help, the weight of the charges is enormous. If convicted, Diddy could be sentenced to decades in prison. The racketeering charge alone carries serious time, and when combined with sex trafficking and obstruction, it could mean life behind bars. Meanwhile, public opinion has been shifting fast. Once celebrated for his music, his business empire, and his image as a cultural icon, Diddy now finds himself under a cloud of suspicion and outrage. His business ventures have taken a major hit. Some of his partnerships have been paused or ended, and companies that once aligned themselves with his brand are now distancing themselves quietly. The music industry is also watching closely. Diddy has mentored some of the biggest names in the game: Biggie Smalls, Mary J. Blige, Faith Evans, and many others. He ran Bad Boy Records, started fashion brands, and launched vodka companies. He was considered untouchable, someone who could bounce back from anything. But these charges aren't about music. They're about real people, real pain, and potentially criminal acts that span decades. So what happens next? It all depends on the April 18th hearing. If the judge denies a request for a delay, the trial could move forward as soon as May. That would mean jury selection, witness testimony, cross-examinations, and possibly months of court proceedings. But if the delay is granted, Diddy's legal team will get more time to build their case, and the public will have to wait even longer for answers. No matter what happens, the consequences are already in motion. The story of Sean Combs is no longer just about music and money. It's about accountability. It's about power, control, and what happens when someone who seemed above it all is forced to face the people he allegedly hurt. His empire may never recover. His image may never be the same. And for the victims who have come forward, this trial represents something much bigger than one man. It represents a moment of truth they've waited years to see. And here's the thing. This story has become bigger than just Sean Combs. It's turning into a test case for how society handles powerful people who are accused of serious wrongdoing. In recent years, we've seen public figures from every industry, Hollywood, sports, politics, face legal and moral accountability. And Diddy's case might become one of the most significant examples in the music industry. People are asking, how did this go on for so long? Who helped cover it up? Who stayed silent? Those are the same questions that come up in every major scandal. But when it involves someone who was once so beloved, so admired, the betrayal hits harder. Diddy wasn't just a businessman. He was a cultural force. He appeared on red carpets with legends. He threw lavish parties for A-list celebrities. He inspired an entire generation of artists and entrepreneurs. And now, all of that is being called into question. Investigators are reportedly still interviewing witnesses, and more lawsuits could still be coming. Some say even more victims have yet to come forward. And if those stories are true, this could only be the beginning. The scale of this case might grow even larger in the weeks and months ahead. If convicted, Diddy would not only be facing prison time, but he could also lose everything: his companies, his assets, and his place in the history of music. And there's another layer to this. What happens to the people who enabled him? If Diddy really had a network that helped him silence victims and cover up crimes, then what happens to them? Will they face charges too? Will more names come out in court? Some legal experts believe this case could pull others into the spotlight: managers, bodyguards, assistants, people who may have looked the other way or even helped carry out certain acts. There's also been a growing conversation online about how long these kinds of behaviors were overlooked. Many people are pointing out that there were whispers about Diddy's behavior for years. In interviews, documentaries, and online forums, fans and insiders have dropped hints about things they saw or heard, but nothing ever stuck until now. So now, people are asking, what changed? Was it the growing power of social media? The bravery of other survivors? A shift in how we view celebrity culture? Whatever the answer is, the public has made it clear. They're not ignoring this. Every update from court, every leaked document, every video gets dissected and shared in real time. People want answers, and they want to see justice, whatever that ends up looking like. For some, that might mean a conviction. For others, it might mean simply exposing the truth and giving survivors a voice. This case is also putting pressure on the legal system. With so many eyes watching, the courts are being asked to prove that even someone as famous and wealthy as Diddy can't escape accountability. If the trial goes forward, expect a media circus. There will be cameras, live bloggers, social media commentators, and endless headlines. Witnesses might testify in front of the world. And the evidence that comes out could be shocking. One thing that's become clear is that this is not going away. Even if Diddy's lawyers manage to delay the trial, they can't delay the consequences. His reputation has already taken a massive hit. Some radio stations have stopped playing his music. Brands that used to partner with him have gone quiet. And fans, some of them lifelong, are now questioning everything they thought they knew about him. In the end, this case is about more than just guilt or innocence. It's about accountability, power, and whether or not the truth can come to light. Even when the person at the center is one of the most successful figures in entertainment history. If the victim stories are proven in court, it will mark one of the biggest falls from grace we've ever seen in modern pop culture. So, as we wait for the next court date and the judge's decision on the delay, all we can do is keep watching and keep asking questions. Will Diddy face the full weight of justice? Or will legal maneuvers buy him more time? Will new voices come forward? Or will the case stall before it reaches trial? Whatever happens next, we'll be here covering every moment. Because this story is more than just headlines. It's about people, pain, and the pursuit of truth. And it's far from over. And if you've made it this far, thank you. Because stories like this matter. They matter not just because they involve celebrities or shocking headlines, but because they reveal what happens when systems fail, when people in power believe they're above the rules, and when others suffer in silence. This trial could set a new precedent, not just for the music industry, but for how we respond when people with influence are accused of causing harm. It's a reminder that no one is untouchable. And no matter how much money, fame, or power someone has, the truth has a way of catching up. For the survivors who come forward, this moment is about reclaiming their voices. For the rest of us, it's about listening, learning, and holding our culture to a higher standard. So stay informed, stay aware, and keep asking the hard questions. Because this isn't just about Diddy, it's about justice. And justice, no matter how long it takes, deserves to be heard.